First things first, you don't have to believe me. I didn't even believe me for a lot of this. I didn't believe me for months. So I thought I was crazy. So if you think I'm crazy, totally cool. I understand.
Shamanoaks, exploring the rabbit hole.
So this whole thing starts with a ton of synchronicities following me watching the movie Donnie Darko. I don't know how it came up, but I saw Donnie Darko as a suggested movie, and I was like, I've never seen that movie. I should check it out. I only get about 10, 15 minutes into it before I realize I'm way too tired. And I'm like, you know what? This seems interesting. I like it, but I'm too tired. I'm going to wait and watch this again later when I'm not so tired. So we have a really nice dinner. We come back, drink some wine, and play some board games while we watch a movie. They go, Alan, you should go pick a movie for your birthday. I'm sitting there trying to figure out what to pick, and my friend suggests Evil Dead. I'm like, I've never seen Evil Dead. She's like, you've never seen Evil Dead? You definitely need to watch it. So we watch Evil Dead while we play Cards Against Humanity and drink wine. So then afterwards, take an Uber home, go to sleep. On July 3rd, my actual birthday, they were like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, you know what, let's just drive out to Malibu. I love Malibu. Go have some breakfast, walk on the beach. That's really all I care about doing. That'll be fun. So we do that. I get to go walk along the beach, get my feet in the sand, get a little sun. It was a great time. On the way back, we passed by where you can see a recent fire had taken place. And one of my friends said, oh, when I was little, my brother and I were hiking in a place where had recently been a fire, and we found a wallet. Then we took the wallet to the police. The police looked at the ID and ended up finding the guy that lost his wallet was the guy that started the fire. So the guy that committed arson started this wildfire they found via a wallet on the ground. So July 4th, I decide to start rewatching Donnie Darko. My roommate is there. A few minutes into the movie, he goes into the movie Evil Dead.
Two for Evil Dead, please. Oh, $2.
And I was like, what? That's so weird. My friends literally just suggested I watch that movie last night, or 2 nights ago. In the movie, he meets a giant rabbit, white rabbit, shamanoaks, rabbit hole, Alice in Wonderland. Interesting. Later on in the movie, he's walking, he finds a wallet, opens it, looks at the ID of the guy, and goes and burns his house down. I paused the movie, and I looked at my roommate, and I was like, who did we just hear found a wallet and ended up being an arson guy? She's like, yeah, our friend Kelly said it yesterday on your birthday. And I was like, wow, that's so weird. That is crazy. First the Evil Dead thing, now this wallet thing. It's weird. So we keep watching the movie. Some other weird things happen, but not as crazy cool. And then the movie ends. It being July 4th, Independence Day is playing on the TV. The guy that's in Donnie Darko playing the bunny is in Independence Day. And then we watch a few minutes later, and holy shit, Donnie Darko's mom is the president's wife. And I was like, okay, this is weird. So, July 4th happens, have a good time, fireworks, drinks, pool, good time. July 5th, I go into work, and I tell one of my friends who I tell a lot of this stuff to, synchronicities and doubles and whatnot, and I go, I had the crazy experience with the synchronicities in Donnie Darko. And I go through the list of things, and then she goes, wow, that's so crazy, what do you think it means? And I was like, I don't think it means anything. She's like, I don't know. That seems like it's trying to tell you something. I tell a few other people and they say the exact same thing too. It's like, I really think this means something. We come back to the office to eat. As I'm sitting there eating, and I go and I smell smoke on my these 2 fingers. And I was like, that's really weird. I had to do it a couple times, like, why would there be smoke on my fingers? And I thought back, like 4th of July, like, was I around a campfire? No, I was never around fire. So I was like, my fingers shouldn't smell like smoke. Plus, I've bathed, so I really shouldn't have smelly smoke fingers. I try not to think about it, finish the day at work, I go home. Oddly enough, I had a ticket coming up this coming Saturday to go see a medium for the first time, a psychic medium, where she was going to read a large audience of people and give readings out. Kind of like the show Crossing Over, if you remember that from back in the day. Like, I've always been very curious about psychic mediums, but I was like, I really have a really hard time believing in them. But I was like, you know what? I need to see something for myself before I judge it. So anyways, I knew this psychic medium thing was happening that Saturday. So when I went home that night, I started looking up videos of psychic mediums. I come across this guy, Matt Frazier. Then I come across one about how to develop your intuition. So I start watching that video, and in that video, he tells you different things to do. And at one point, he talks about a lot of mediums get smells. And he goes, like, if someone was a smoker, you might smell smoke on your fingers. And I thought to myself, that's odd. I just smelled smoke on my fingers earlier today when I was at lunch with my friend. And then it hit me. Her dad is dead. So I go into work the next day and I was like, hey, really weird random question, but was your dad by any chance a smoker? She kind of gave me one of these like, what? Why'd you ask me that? And I say, well, yesterday while we were eating, kept smelling smoke on my fingers and it kind of smelled like cigarette smoke. And I went and watched this video about psychic mediums. You had said this means something. He said you could, psychic mediums sometimes get smells. And so I was like, I'm just curious, was your dad a smoker? And she was like, yeah. I was like, wow, that's crazy. And the chills just now, right? Thinking about it. So then I remember again in the video where he talks about you could borrow a piece of jewelry and hold it. And I was like, okay, do you mind if I borrow a piece of your jewelry and hold it and see if I get anything about your dad? She's like, yeah, no problem. So I go back that night and I hold the ring in my hand and I just meditate. You just try to clear your mind, right? So you just kind of keep focusing on your breath and you clear your mind. And I got my mind to a point where, it was basically empty. It took 5-10 minutes, I don't remember. And then I heard the name George. Wrote it down. Next day I go into work and I go, okay, did it. Was your dad by any chance named George? She immediately teared up and she was like, yeah. And we both were just kind of sat there and we were like, that's freaky. I wasn't like, oh, this is cool. I was like, whoa, what the hell is this? This is not supposed to be possible. This is that's weird. It weirded us out. I first tried meditating years ago. I don't remember how, 5, 6, 7 years ago. But every time I meditated, whenever I got my mind clear, I would see images of people I didn't know. It was always silent, never could hear anything, but it was always pictures of people and they were always moving their hands and mouths like they were trying to talk to me. And it would weird me out. I'd always no, because I saw ghosts and I heard voices as a kid. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not about seeing ghosts again. I'm not about hearing voices again. Nope. And I would push it away and I wouldn't do it again for years. So then I told my roommate about this whole thing and what was going on. And I was like, do you have dead people that I could try this on? He goes, I have some dog tags from a relative that was in the military. Would you like that? And I was like, yeah, but please take the dog tag off. I don't want to see it. I don't want to know anything about this person because the less you know, the better. Because then your imagination can get involved. I don't want that. So he just gave me a chain, nothing on it. And I meditated holding it. It took, again, a few minutes. First thing I heard was James. And I was like, we have a friend named James. That's a common name, whatever. Wrote it down, but I didn't think too much of it. Then a few minutes later, I heard Ronnie died. And I was like, okay, wrote that down. And then a couple other things. And I was like, okay, so I did it. Can we talk about it? And he was like, yeah. And I go, okay, the first name I heard was James. And he goes, I was like, why? It's I don't think that means anything. He goes, well, the person whose chain I gave you, his son is named James, my uncle. I was like, whoa, that's weird. And then I heard Ronnie died. And he did it. He was like, his name was Ronald. And I was like, no fucking way. We both just kind of stared there for minutes going, what the fuck? It scared me in a way. It's a scary thing to not believe in. And then all of a sudden you start getting people's names in your head that turn out to be people that died. Saturday, I go see the psychic medium. Her name is Fleur. So I go see her. She's just nailing people, saying really exact things. She never reads me in the audience, but she reads people on both sides of me. And I was like, this is crazy. She's killing it. This is awesome. And then she goes, okay, this is the last thing I'm going to say, but she's pointing to some other guy. She goes, I just smelled smoke on my fingers. Was your dad by any chance a smoker? And again, was like, what? I just said that to my coworker a couple days ago. And so she ends the show and she's like, okay, I'm going to be up front. If you want to come talk to me, say hi, give me a hug, you can. And I was like, yeah, I'm doing that. So I go down, I talk to her, and I tell her everything that's been happening. And the smoke on the fingers thing, I literally just said that to my friend the other day. And she goes, it looks like your spirit is really trying to get in contact with you, trying to get your attention. I have an advanced class coming up. You should take it. You should sign up. And I was like, done. But I'm a logical science man. I know a lot of people don't think that from my videos, but I am. I question everything. The next morning, I was in the shower and I was like, this isn't real. This can't be happening. This doesn't happen. I bet that show was all staged. And I just went through everything and I just doubted the hell out of it. And then I remembered she's doing a group reading at her house in a couple weeks, and you're guaranteed a reading. And it was $130, and I was like, you know what? $130 is a lot of money, but if she reads me like personally and then gets someone that I know and nails it, then I'll know for sure. And I was like, $130 that's cheap to like know something for certain. Otherwise, I'm going to question. I'm going to go back and forth in my brain for months, years. I don't know. I'm never going to know. $130, I get some certainty in my life. Cool. So I get out of the shower, immediately sign up. A couple weeks later, I go to the group reading. She goes around just nailing people, saying really like specific things. Like she tells one lady, she goes, your mother's keeps saying you need to find the money. There's a lot of different money around the house. And he goes, but I don't feel like it's dollars. It's like, it's all different types of currencies. And the lady was started just like crying, and she was like, yeah, my mom took care of foster kids, and she has like Japanese money and like all different kinds of bills all over the house. And like, that's super crazy specific, right? And then at one point she goes, wait. She goes, look in a flower pot. There's money in a flower pot. And the lady's like, she again just starts crying. She's like, I just found money in a flower pot. Like, that's not something you cold read out of somebody. A lot of people say, mediums are cold readers and they're just looking at you. First of all, her eyes are closed and she's just getting crazy specific. Another person, she was like, yeah, your mom ironed everything. Like she ironed underwear and socks and whatever. Nailed it. She turned to me, nailed me. Anyway, so the thing ends. It's about 2.5 hours, 3 hours. And I go to use the bathroom and I come out, everyone's gone. So I'm just in her house with her by herself. And I was like, okay, this is my chance to like ask her more questions. So I kind of tell her again what's going on. I ask her if there's any books she suggests. She gives me a whole list of books, and she tells me her story on how she found out. And she was like a medical student at UCLA. She's very scientific brain. Her parents are engineers. And I go like, I keep doubting it. And she's like, I doubt it too. I don't think there's a medium alive that doubts it more than me. Like, it's a weird thing. But it goes, I've seen the reactions. I keep getting things. So there's something to this. And I was like, wow, that's awesome. Like she's not all like, ooh, about it. She was very, I doubt it. This is crazy. It's not normal, but I can do it. And I don't know how, I don't know why, but I can. So I do it. For the next few months, my life is consumed with this. And I've taken many courses. I've gone back and forth numerous times. A lot of my friends have had to deal with me. Well, actually, only very few of my friends actually knew I was even doing this, because I was like, I sound crazy. I wouldn't believe this if my friend came and told me they did this. So it's like, why would they believe me? I totally get it if you do not believe me at all. Like I said, I didn't believe me. But if I can give any of you any sense of hope, this shit is real. You don't die, or you die, but you're not dead. Like, you go to the other side. You can communicate back over here. I think we can actually all do this, but very few people meditate. Very few people quiet their minds. People are scared to be alone with their thoughts, but that's all this is. All you do is quiet your mind, and you pay attention to the little thoughts that pop in your head that aren't from you. So yeah, that's basically my story. That's what I've been up to. I've been practicing, being a psychic medium, like doing readings for people. But yeah, so what do you guys think? You think I'm nuts? Or I swear to you, it's real. But you don't, like I said, you don't have to believe me. Just stay a little bit open, stay a little curious, and look into it for yourself and explore, and you will see that this shit is real. People get upset at psychics or mediums because they're not always right, but the best athletes in the world that play basketball or a lot of sports, their average is usually around 50%. So they're wrong. The best doctors, lawyers, presidents, teachers all have bad days. They're not perfect. Nobody's perfect, so you can't expect a psychic or a medium to be perfect. Are there bad ones? Sure. Are there phonies? Absolutely. But there are also a few out there that are incredibly gifted and talented, and it's worth looking into, because I guarantee you this shit is real. You know, I said I was going to be dead in a year. I basically did die in a year. Well, someone left a comment saying, you're going to change so much in a year, it's going to be like you were dead. And that's basically what happened. And now I talk to the dead. So it's it's whoa, that light just went out. That's nuts. All right, I'm going to take that as a sign to go. See you guys next week.